aspirations of selling for close to $1 billion.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another act of Stay Hot. We're at Act 46 today, Troy. It's Wednesday, downtown Toronto.
Beautiful Wednesday. We're back out here. It's nice. We love it.
We call this a doc. For anyone that's just joining, this is Stay Hot, podcast around the entrepreneurial journey of Troy Crema, building one of Toronto, Canada's, and North America, worldwide's top startups.
Mars.
Troy's a two-time founder, co-founder, CEO, and go just do your research on this guy. He's one of the guys. So, what we do here every day or every week, we sit down and say, Troy, what's going on in your world?
What a week, Tristen. That's what we talk about. You talk about weeks that you work towards, and it's like, when like you're like an athlete and like you're a rookie, you start to get comfortable, and maybe you go into your sophomore season, and things start to become the guy.
Yeah.
Start to click.
Something athletes always say is that the game starts to slow down.
Ooh, definitely slowed down.
Yeah?
It's funny. It's like only Wednesday, and it feels like we've already had multiple weeks in 1 week. So that's a perfect definition of how time is slowing.
And I think what they refer to in that sense is like their decision making is just like things become so much more familiar. They know what to do in certain situations.
Yeah. And I would say the biggest thing is like your business intuition just starts to grow with that process. So it's almost as if like you can read everything that's happening. You're just on autopilot essentially, and you can just go. And just when you're going through your emotions, it's like that process. If you're not thinking, you're just doing.
Yeah.
And you're organically just going about your day and growing and creating multi-million-dollar companies.
I like the sound of that. Okay, so yesterday you texted me. You're like, hey, because we usually record on a Thursday. Now, I know we're dating this episode a little bit, but every episode comes out on Tuesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Act went up and you say, yo, we need to record tomorrow. The boys are having a week. What's that mean? Why are you so fired up?
We just had we had 4 calls in the morning, Greencube and Grotto related, and all of them went to contract, and all of them were like, we're gonna sign. And so I've actually never had something like that, and it was like and behind that we have pipeline, but everything just was deal. Usually in the past I've had you might have 4 or 5 we call them negotiation contract calls, right? And when you have those calls, you got to expect that your win rate, we always talk about, is going to be 30%, right? We always talk about that number. Our win rate yesterday was 100, right? So when we go look at that and look back at it, we go, wow. That's when I look at it, I go, we're having a week, everything's clicking, and yesterday was only Tuesday, it's only Wednesday. We're not even halfway through the week. It's finally 12 o'clock. We're now running downhill now for the rest of the week. It's hump day, baby.
Now, Troy, not every day is like that. Not every week is like that. Right. When was the last week you had that was the complete opposite to this one?
Today. Well, no, not on a contract perspective. Okay. Everything just went. There was a couple contracts essentially. That's the roller coaster from startups, right? There's a couple contracts that are taking a little longer. They want to do one more call, and that stuff can be frustrating. But then you got to take a step back always and realize we're at the end of the sales cycle. We're gonna get this done. They want to answer a couple more questions, make that client feel special, and close that fucking deal. But it's funny. We're running into some stuff this morning, putting out some fires.
Indoor, outdoor. In the company, out the company.
Internally. Externally, we're always performing, baby, because we're on the front lines every day.
And you're on the front lines. You're taking care of your clients because you have an exceptional operations team.
Yeah, it's like when you take a girl on a date and she's also she's seeing someone else and cheating on you, but and you're dying inside, but externally you're going to be a gentleman about it.
Okay, and speaking of internal fires. Alex the Intern, for people that have been following, you know that Alex the Intern is a recurring excuse my language, is a recurring character in the Stay Hot series podcast.
Yeah, he keeps coming back, man. He made his way back this summer. We kept him. Funny thing enough, dude, the guy might be turning into a pretty amazing salesperson.
Can you remember the first episode or the first act that we introduced Alex the Intern when you told me the story of how this guy basically made a job for himself?
Yeah, and he made another job for himself, I would say, this summer. No, I asked to have him back. He was actually going to take another job. Alex probably watching us from the building above, but he was going to take another job, guys, at a bank. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. Just waiting to hear back. I'm like, have they given you an answer? No. They're not going to. They're going to say no, dude.
Is that when he was like working for you in the office?
No, this is like back in like April or like March of this
okay,
year
okay.
when people are sorting out their internships. He's like, oh, I'm leaving. Because I've always told them, like, go spread your wings and fly.
Nice.
I always tell everyone, go explore. I'm never going to be mad at you for not exploring and getting out there. But it's really funny. He did come back this year, and it's only 25 days in. Two of his deals that he's originated have closed. Right? In 25
How
days.
are you?
So he's now all bravado. He's like, I want to be a closer. I want to get to the next point. We talked about last time how you have your originator relationship builders and you have your closers, your entry pointers, and then your closers. He goes on yesterday. He had a call. He was like, I want to take this on solo, and you got to let people grow, right? You always got to let your team grow. So he goes on, jumps on, starts throwing out pricing. He says, Troy, I got him the contract. I go, what's the pricing? And he goes, says the pricing, and I go, dude, that's like 50% for one user below market value. You essentially gave the platform away for free. And I'm like, oh, you're lucky, you almost got hit. And essentially off of that, I went, that's not a sale. So it's funny, differentiating between what is a sale and then what is giving something away for free. Because relationship builders, your time's free, essentially, at that point. But when you go to make it market value, you got to work your way up to that sale. And the sale is essentially a price with dollars and cents related. If you discount it, then you haven't really done a good job in your sales cycle because you haven't pitched the value of the platform. Work your way from the start to the finish, and the finish is when you drop that number on them. And ultimately, at that point, you've built a relationship to a point, and you bring in that closer, yours truly, to get it done at the price that we say we should get it.
And this is what I was going to say. You know, he's gaining confidence, and he's like, oh, he's closed 2 deals this week, whatever. But I'm like, okay, well, when has he taken his first, like, punch yet where he gets, like, he just completely drops the ball? It sounds like he kind of did.
He got punched this morning, man. I said, like, why are you even talking pricing? It's not your job, right? I said, but I let him go about it. You got to let him spread their wings to be free and grow. And
good leadership quality on your part.
You need to. And I said, like the pricing? I went, dude, I'll pay for that person to use the platform to be on that pricing, right? And so it just gets to a point where you gotta, again, it's all in process. It took me a long time to figure it out as well. So again, I see a lot of myself.
It's nice. It's nice that you can say that because yes, go back into all of our acts. And we could laugh at ourselves. You could laugh at yourself. You have laughed at yourself of being like, oh, I can't believe I messed up. And that's all Alex is doing. The kid just graduated high school, didn't he?
Yeah, but the kid's he's got that cockroach mentality, right? Like you never die, and like that's and I definitely embody that. Like when I texted you something yesterday, that like I love staring down the barrel of the gun and eating bullets. Give me the grenades and I'll eat those too. Like that was just something I was feeling because when you have a day like you had yesterday, you would eat in bullets and eat in pain and gone through that shit for such a long period of time that for have a day like that where it all clicks, give me the grenades, give me the bazooka, give me the nuke. I'll eat everything, man.
Yeah, and last point on this topic.
It's just called the cockroach mentality. You never die. Keep coming back.
I love that because it's like, okay, you're not afraid to die. You're putting yourself in these tough decisions. You're taking risk, and they're going to pay off.
And he's growing. Look, 25 days in now, he's got revenue targets, and look at him. It's great.
Last act, 45. We did a live cold call on air. It was incredible. Shout out Alex the Intern. Here he goes again. But he set us up with a little lead. And I said, Troy, it would be super cool if you like just randomly called this number right now on air and you secured the deal.
So we secured the call, right? Because the goal of every cold call nowadays, if you have a software product, is to get, or even if you don't, is to get to the next demo or product call. And you can be the product as like a person that has professional services for you, Tristen, right? You're the product at the end of the day.
That's right.
So you got to get to the product call, right? And the product call is essentially when you do that kind of pitch and you do that whole strategy, right? But cold calls, you're not going to sell on the call anymore. This isn't the 90s Wolf of Wall Street, guys. There's internet, there's research, people have access to information. You got to get it to here. People are educated buyers. And so...
quick, Kill Bill Pete commented on your cold call video on your reel. If you're not following this guy, we cut up Stay Hot episodes and throw them on Instagram, so go check those out.
At Troy.Crema.
Your boy Kill Bill Pete, who we also had on the podcast, William
by professional, personally goes by Bill.
William commented saying, yeah, cold call is still alive and well.
And your buddy commented back too, Birdsey.
Alberto Rodriguez, big. He's about 6'10" Cuban, played basketball for St. FX. He's the guy.
Good looking guy. Off of that front. No, he commented back saying it's live. And I think a lot of people are seeing that it is back live because it makes sense, right? Everyone's going back into the office. Corporate numbers and business numbers are live here. You can get access to people. But also, I think people have just been remote for so long and people like talking on the phone. I think people have an appreciation now even more for conversations. And we talked about in the post I posted on the call, the art of sales is back, baby.
Nice.
The art of sales has returned, and that will be your differentiator on top of your product as you move forward. So if you're a good salesperson, you will thrive in the next 6 to 9 months in this type of product.
Even though the market has gone to shit?
So even though the market's gone to shit, you can only catch lightning in a bottle when there are dark clouds in the sky. And so when you have ultimately this art of sales mentality, and you can really build that relationship and get it down to a dollars and cents closing figure, the true, bold, great art of a salesperson that are not, you can't just call them salespeople. They're just another tier of beings or gods. Look, I'm a little biased. They will thrive in this environment, and they will make and will prosper. And that's what I'm saying. Over the next 6 to 9 months, guys, when markets are dark, when clouds are dark, and ultimately markets are going through the tank, sales leaders and sales godlike figures, and why I call them godlike figures is because they will bring in revenue in dollars and cents to support their company when capital markets are dry like they are. If you are a sales god, when you can go to one of your colleagues in ops or tech, you're being saying, I got your back, man, or bro or girl, and I'm going to make sure I bring in deals to support this company through this storm that we're ultimately going through.
And it's well done, by the way. And it's your wholehearted belief since I've known you is that sales drives revenue, which is the bloodline and the oxygen of a company.
Of the business. Sales is the oxygen of a business. It just makes sense. And now more than ever, given that capital markets are so dry, VCs aren't deploying, growth markets are decreasing, the market is literally going through the floor, especially in tech. My sales gods out there can rise up for their companies and support their companies through this. And it just takes a different level of different being of a salesperson.
So that's a great perspective, and I think I would agree with you. Yeah. But for anyone else that's listening that may have a different perspective, right, what do you think else could be done in a company or a business that will help them get through this storm?
Listen, I think a lot of it is like, I don't like cutting. I don't want to cut. You don't cut costs. You don't cut people. I don't like laying off people. But whatever everyone also can do can be pegged to a revenue generating figure. Your ops team, your tech team have deliverables and feature sets that can lead to an upsell. Hey, you want to upsell to the team package, an extra $25. Revenue figures are pegged. So your operations and your tech team and your product team essentially should be pegged to should be symbiotically linked to your sales team, which ultimately is connected to the market and the revenue number. So it is all connected. When you grow your top line revenue and when you bring in revenue, it's not just the salesperson that's doing that, it's your entire team that's involved with that process.
And as the CEO of a startup let's call a spade, startups are going to be hit most during this time.
They already are. I mean, Y Combinator is, I got an email from Y Combinator today informing founders about safe rounds. Safe rounds are essentially rounds that companies do to get them through tough times where they take a ton of dilution.
How is that different than a normal fundraise?
Normal fundraise, you do it for a run rate. You do it, hey, I'm going to raise this money for an 18 to 24 month span. I'll be back out to market. Safe rounds are like when you raise your money, you get to like month 8 or 9, and then all of a sudden this happens where there's a catastrophic event and you need enough cash just basically keep the business afloat to hit your revenue number.
And why would someone like Y Combinator just give out that cash?
They're not giving out cash. They're informing their founders about what safe rounds are and educating them for the founders to go out and take safe rounds in this market. And that's just good luck.
Good. And I think this is I want to stay here for a little bit because I think this is a good opportunity for you to inform and educate.
Yeah.
If it's a down market and even VC funds are they're holding on to even more cash and they're taking less risk, why would they be so privy to giving money in the safe round?
Well, it also comes down to opportunistic investing.
Like what's in it for the VC if it's such a shit market?
The thing with what's in it for the Y Combinators of the world is that they put in that initial pre-seed type of money, that $100K investment for 10%. They don't want to see their thousands of 100K investments go to shit and ultimately go to zero. Don't let the company die, because if the company dies, their investment goes to zero.
So a safe round would be a company that's already secured funding in the past in a good market or whatever.
It's a startup that basically it's a company that has raised money. It can be any size. Safe rounds can be used for big companies and growth markets. Sure. You raise a round to get you to basically another round. That's essentially what a safe round is. You raise a mini round to get you to this round, and this amount will get you to there. But the fucked up thing, the messed up thing about safe rounds is that they're regarded as a position of weakness, not strength. And so given this market, when Y Combinator is sending out emails informing people about what safe rounds are, they're just safeguarding their investment because of where they were previously in the investor cycle of that business. We get to hear, you know what, 40% of our initial investments now that are seed or Series A are dying and going to go to zero. Let's inform them about safe rounds so we can get them to that A. And guess what? We got in at the ground level, so even if they're at maybe the 10th floor and now down rounds on the safe round to the 8th floor, we still got that delta from 0 to 8. So from their perspective, they're fine. From the startup's perspective, you just have to do a down round now to get to here. And then now safe rounds, it's egregious terms, right? So you're going to have to do options, share incentives, debt financing plans. And so what will happen with that is safe rounds could cripple the companies in growth where the actual employers and the founders that worked their ass off to get to floor 10 from zero could essentially be left with not much money. It's not really in it for them anymore. So again, interesting times, interesting markets, salespeople, sales gods, which also are linked to the other people in your company, your product, your tech team. The true entrepreneurs and startups that survive this will come out with ultimately prosperous land.
Okay, so for anyone that may not be from Toronto, Troy's office is on King Street. Where would you say we are?
We're right at King University. We're on the dock here. Royal Alexandra Theatre here in the background. Love theater, by the way. I'm a theater minor, if you can't tell by my personality. Shout out to all my theater salespeople. But we're looking right now at the CN Tower. I'm looking directly at it right now at Tristen. It's beautiful. It's high. It's great. And, it's funny. Stuff about the CN Tower, right? Okay. That's like a godlike.
It is.
It's like a godlike. I call it like a figure. To me, the CN Tower is like actually a being. It's an energy.
I think at one point it was the tallest man-made structure.
It's still the tallest to me.
It blows my mind.
Because I'm from Toronto, right? Sure. And we're from Canada. It's the tallest in Canada, for sure.
Well, look at me. I'm from Halifax. I've never seen a building like that before, so I'm still fat. Like, whenever I go to, like, a friend's condo or something and I can see it, I'm always that person taking a picture of it.
It feels like kind of like when Draco's, like, 6 God, he's standing on top of the CN Tower. It does feel like that tower's got your back in a way. It's always there.
Yeah, and also in this area, like, there's a lot of corporate business, like people are dressed in suits. Like
I'm waiting for Tristen to get his camera knocked over by someone just not paying attention.
Yeah, it's a busy area. So is this like financial district, entertainment district? Like what is it?
This is entertainment district right here in Toronto. As you go further west in the city, east in the city. I always get those messed up because we're looking this way. South, north, west, east. Yeah. If you go further east, you get to the financial district. And it's only like 2 blocks over. Right. So you got King University here, financial district in Toronto, which is ultimately the heart of all Canadian finance. You have your big 4 or big 5 or 6 all in that given area. Right. It's at King and Bay. And so you go a couple intersections over, do a nice run down King to King and Bay, go up to the waterfront. You'll hit the waterfront, go Front Street, run across. You'll hit the ACC, you'll run across the Rogers Center, the Skydome. So it's all in this market, guys.
It's great.
It's fun.
And the energy right now is like everyone's almost on lunch and everyone's coming from business and people are sitting in the park here having business meetings and
the dogs are back out.
Yep.
Bro, how about like walking across to these dogs and like when like you're a being when you're walking across, like when dogs recognize dogs. Yeah. So like Alex and I were walking. So really funny story here actually. So Alex and I go on these runs every day. So Alex the intern actually runs like cross country and this guy's fast. Like I think I'm fast and I think you're fast. Nice. No, he's like high. He's one of those guys that just
he weighs nothing.
Yeah, he just floats. Yeah. It's annoying. Yeah. I'm clunking around, and that guy's like, I'm dying, and he's running fast. So what we do up on King Street is because when we come around the bend, we have this route, this 5K route that we do almost every day now, 5 days a week. You gotta get out, gotta get active with the routine. We started when we come around the bend here. We come up by the TIFF Center, the TIFF area, and what we'll do is we'll turn the corner. and we start sprinting it to close it out, like the last 150, 200 meters here. So, funny enough, there's a group of people here that have like noticed this. And so what we do is we come around and we finish here right out front of the Royal Alexandra Theater, and we started walking around, and these people came up to us and say, who are you guys? Essentially, what are you guys doing? And I go, we're just running, man. He's like, are you guys training for anything? It seems like you're racing. And it's funny, right? Like, everything's a little bit of a competition, right, when it comes down to it. And so Alex and I are kind of even competing now against each other because he's done a good job. Not just like in just us going about and growing, which I think is amazing to see.
And it's funny that you went there, because me talking about everyone in the business and coming out here for lunch, it speaks about one thing. But I think also, before I get to that point, you and Alex competing in the runs, do you think there's a little bit of competition in like the sales world too, of like closing deals?
100,000%. Like, you never have one salesperson in the company.
That's right.
You got multiple. You have a board.
That's right.
You have people that are on top of the board one day. You have people that are right here. It's all a competition, baby. It's very much like athletic mentality and like a sports-ass type of mentality. And it takes tough, resilient guys that want to, hey, you know what, Tristen? Fuck you. I'm going to beat you this month.
Which is why I think you're perfect for this role, and why you're positioning yourself as like the sales god and whatever.
I'm not positioning that. I'm probably the sales demigod. Let's go.
Okay, let's go there.
The sales demigod. Perseus, baby. But essentially here what you're doing is you also have to be a leader. When you're the CEO, you have to know when to take a step back and give people chances. You can't run every deal and close every deal, because then you're just LeBron James with the 04 Cavs that just takes them to the conference finals. Hey, you know what? I need Kyrie. I need all these guys back in whatever it was, 2017 to get it done. So share the ball a little bit, and ultimately when you share the ball and other people are winning and closing, builds a camaraderie, builds a team, and you got yourself a great company.
Very well said. And then also, how does it feel for us to, because we're doing this in public now. People are watching us. We got a guy next to us listening in on the conversation.
I think people like it.
I think so as well. I'm getting more comfortable at it with it as well.
A couple ladies over here.
Yeah, people are interested.
65-year-old ladies. They look good though for their age.
How does it feel when you see yourself compared, like with holding on to the competition thing? Does it stretch your mind? Because here's where my thought comes from. I see all these guys in their suits and, in their business guys, and they got money this, money that, and then here I am dressed in some winner's $25 shoes, like because I don't care.
But yo, those are some nice socks. Like, look at those.
Brand new, baby.
Oh, they are white and they are nice.
Brand new. But what I'm saying is that even though I don't, someone could look at me and be like, oh, that guy must not be doing much, I still know I'm the fucking guy.
Okay. Okay. I like this. Keep going.
Do you look at everyone else and be like, okay, everyone's in their own business thing. They don't know what I'm building. I'm actually like, I am a sales god. I'm closing 4 deals yesterday. Like, is it motivation for you? Because it's motivation for me being like, okay, these guys think they're hot shit. Wait till they see me.
I think it's funny. It's funny. I was walking every day. I get off the subway at King University at St. Andrew Station, and I have a nice 200 and whatever it is, 50 meters here to walk to then our offices right here. And every day, everyone's walking to the financial district, and I'm walking kind of out of it, right, to get to my offices. So every day I pass suits. Every day I pass people, and I pass not just young people. I pass the older generation, all these people.
That's right.
And I look at them and I kind of it's almost a respect thing that we're up and we're all grinding and getting to the next location. But internally, you always need to have some sort of self-belief that you are different in a certain way. And I think, listen, for some of us, it's competition-wise, I am that fucking guy and I'll put myself up against anything. No different than any athlete would or any great professional or any musician would. That's just competition.
And that's all I mean by saying, when I say that too, it's just self-confidence.
But I think seeing people walk and seeing the 7 a.m., 6:30 crowd that's walking into the office and you're walking that way, you know what? It's almost like baseball players when they take the field and they tip the cap to people. They're out there grinding and everyone's hustling, and I love to see it. It motivates you. It's funny. I go for my 4:30, 5 a.m. runs at some points, and the great thing about it is I go, okay, I'm different. I'm up at 4:30. Right. No, there's a 4 a.m., 4:30 fucking crowd. Right. No, there's a 4:30 crew. And so it's funny. You start to see all these people that are coming out at that time and go, you know what? It's so true, man. You think you're working hard, but there is always someone that's working hard.
There's always someone working harder than you, and there's always someone out there trying to take your spot.
Trying to take your spot, and sometimes, you know what, you got to go out there, guys, and make your own spot, and that's what we do with this startup thing.
How do you self-motivate yourself? I know you do 3:30 a.m. runs, you do 4:30, that kind of stuff, but there's other stuff that you do that carries from your acting career not career, but like studies and as a hockey.
I had a commercial. It was pretty
Hey,
good.
okay, we should pull that up if we can find it, if it's out there somewhere.
I was an extra in the background, got dangled by Marion Hossa. It's a great one.
And then from your hockey career, like, is like pre-game rituals. Do you have any like?
So superstitious.
Yeah, speak on that and why you think you are.
Oh, I think I know I am now back again. I am superstitious, but like it's all. I think superstition is a way of a routine. It's a way of getting yourself locked into your day and doing your routine. Me, I'll admit something. So every day at these museum where I get on at the subway station, and everyone that's been to museum station in Toronto knows this. They have these like Egyptian like statues, and they're all like, and then they have also these like Aztec like pre-made statues, which act as like beams. They're beams like kind of in the subway station,
hold up
but they're designed to be. It's like the Ontario Art Gallery's there, and everything's in that area. So when I was during COVID and like even last year and even to the point early this year, you got to motivate yourself and have friends. No one was working. I was the only one going to the office and working and doing things. So these statues have kind of turned into my imaginary friends per se. And so like one of these statues has like their hands up or their paws up like this, and it's a really cool thing. I don't have a name for it, but every day I'm high-fiving that motherfucker and giving him a what's up.
You got to name it like what
his name is. Yeah, we'll come up with one for the guy, but he's been there for me every single day. So it's funny, right? Like I think I got like, you got to be like crazy in a way, and you got to be a little weird. And I don't find that weird, but people, I've always said to you, if anyone looked at my commute to and from the office, they would go, that guy is one interesting, weird motherfucker. And you know what? I love that.
Do you know what that makes me think of? It's like that's going to be a line or a chapter in your like biography, your memoir, or like a Steve Jobs-esque or something. Like, imagine, does that interest you? You want to get to a point where like someone makes a movie about your story?
Well, they send you that DM about that kid? The guy who wants to do a character based on me? You hear about this?
No.
Oh, God. Someone reached out to me on LinkedIn. He goes, I think you'd be a really interesting character for a movie.
I think you are.
Thank you. I am a character just in general. But, I mean, that was kind of... I do like... I want to write, like, a story one day. I don't know whether... It'll be somewhat... I think all great stories stem from personal experiences. And I'm a theater. I did screenwriting in school as well. And... I do love movies. I love the arts. And, hey, listen, we always talk about storytelling, right? And ultimately how you really get the most out of true, I would say, kind of true outlooks and impressions into someone's ultimately in lessons, and you can pull your own lessons out of your stories. Yeah, let's go make a movie, baby. Every day's a movie.
And also, let's wrap this up here with this. Yeah. You got a birthday coming up. How significant is that for you? Is it one of those birthdays that you're looking forward to? Is it going to be a start, like a refresh for you? Is it like a milestone? What is it?
We got some big deals to close that day, baby. We got to get it done. But hey, 1 year left to go 30 under 30. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, here we go. All right, everybody. That's Act 46 today at the dock. We'll be out here every Thursday.
Yeah, we're trying to be out here. We'll also try to maybe go to different parts of the city as well. But come on by, come pop in. It's an impromptu off-the-cuff show.
If you see us, mid-recording, please come say hello.
Yeah, please jump in. Guys, this is totally unscripted, off the cuff. Let's have a great week. Let's stay hot. Run downhill the rest of the week. Happy hump day. Cheers.
Bang, bang.
Bye-bye.